We'll call the meeting to order at 6:33. And the first item would be to approve the minutes from the regular meeting held on May 8th, 2018.
Okay, so moved.
I wasn't here, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me.
Okay, next item is to discuss parks fees. Over the course of the last winter, the Park and Recreation Department has worked pretty hard to try to reevaluate where the, how much we're charging, how much use the parks are getting, whether or not those should turn into, the Flatwood Park has actually turned into a bit of a moneymaker. And, the question is it getting so crowded that it's not really being able to be utilized or have as much fun, or too crowded. Anyway, that's what I'm hearing from them. And I heard from a lot of citizens over the course of the last couple of years too, calling up and saying it's just too crowded up there. So what they've proposed, and the same thing is happening down at the town landing. Local people are not able to get their boats in the water because the landing is just too full and the parking lot's too full. So Park and Rec has proposed a launch fee of $30 per vessel for out-of-town residents. If you live in town and you have a sticker, it's you pay for that with your taxes. It's for launching only. It does not guarantee parking. The season pass for launching your boat down there is $300.
And this fee would be paid each time they want to launch?
Every time if you want, unless you buy a season pass, in which case you get a sticker or a pass for the car.
Okay.
One of the things that goes along with that, though, is they've also started a program for local businesses, where if someone comes into town and buys a grinder or buys a sandwich or buys lunch, they can use the receipt as a parking pass and go down to the landing for an hour and enjoy the landing. It's not an all-day pass. It just gets them there to enjoy their lunch. They've also planning on handing passes out to local businesses that factories or shops, and say if one of your employees wants to go to the landing or to the park and enjoy their lunch down there, then this pass, which is held at your office, they can take that down there and they'll get them in there for 1 hour. So it allows folks that are working here or visiting here to enjoy the landing without having to pay for $30 to go down there and park their car for an hour for lunch. And all this stuff is subject for discussion, but I think it's reasonable and allows let's give it a season and see how it works. As far as Flatwood Park goes, they've changed the fees. They are not going to sell daily passes up there. There's only going to sell a season pass, and that cost of that is $200. Town residents are allowed up to 3 guests with out-of-town vehicles. There's no charge for vehicles entering the park for a Little League game or for people trying to enjoy the little free library and things like that. So those are what they're proposing. It's going to change, the use. I think that the park won't get used as much, at least by out-of-towners. I think maybe that will encourage people from town to start going back there. I don't know.
For enforcement, we only have enforcement on weekends?
No, we're going to have at the landing, I think there will be a gate guard on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. If we need to increase that, we will. At the Flatwood Park, there will be a gate guard every day.
Okay.
Lifeguards only on the days that there are
The camp.
camps.
And what would be the provisions for collecting the fee? For
Well,
launching and that kind of
at the landing, the gate guard will collect the fee. At the park, they're not selling day passes, so to buy a season pass, they're going to have to go to the town hall.
Okay.
So that's the information. I think, do you guys have concerns or discussions or thoughts on
No,
that?
I like it because, if you're a resident and you wanna go launch a boat on a Saturday or Sunday and it's packed, I would be upset if I couldn't launch my boat.
Exactly.
I know
Yeah.
last summer there was several occasions at those problems out Flatwood Park.
Mm-hmm.
There were many, too many people there.
Yep.
It seems to make some sense, and I suggest it's worth a try. You know, see
Well,
how it
that's what
goes.
we're doing. We'll give it a try.
Yeah.
If someone came, again, I'm just hypothetically speaking, if someone came into town on a weekend and we aren't selling a day pass, would we sell them a season pass that day if they came in and said, okay, I want to buy a season pass?
Well, that's part of the question. Right now, the season passes are sold only at the town hall. And that's, I think that is a concern.
Yeah.
It certainly was a concern of mine, and the Park and Rec, the group decided that it was best to do that. And that it was part of their rationale was that will ensure that the people purchasing the passes will have a better understanding of the park rules and the policies before they go in there. They do, again, it will have an impact on the revenue line for Parks and Rec. So if you remember during budget hearings, there's always that question of what's, Park and Rec is, both their revenue and their expenses are always way out of whack. But one usually covers quite a bit for the other. So I think we'll see a dramatic decrease in revenue, but that's really not what they're for. They're for the enjoyment of the citizens. So
Exactly.
that's where that is. And I think a vote to accept this as suggested by the Park and Rec would probably be appropriate. And we can put as per the Board of Selectmen under the signs.
I'll make a motion to approve the fees that the Park and Rec have moved to us.
And I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Actually, while we have Allison here, let's just move item 5 up to item 4, so you don't have to sit through the whole thing. And that's the discussion of Neighborhood Assistance Act credit for the Congregational Church and Kirtland Commons. This is something we've done for the past few years. Last year, I think it was last year or the year before, the first with the church. Couple years in a row now, right? Yeah. So I think it's the same process. Both are mostly for energy
efficiency,
Energy efficiency.
conservation.
Allison, do you want to come up and explain what y'all are doing?
Sure. What we're looking at doing is trying to shore up our leaks. And the doors are old, they're not insulated as far as the entry doors, so we're looking to get some new entry doors that are insulated, Energy Star rated. Our cooling system as well. We did install through the Neighborhood Assistance Act money last year, new Energy Star windows, because they have been 75 years old and single pane. But now, some of the AC units that used to go in there, we don't want to drill the holes, so we need to try to get an energy efficient cooling system for a couple of the offices. And as far as the energy conservation with the fixtures in the bathrooms and kitchens, we have 2 kitchens that community uses. We want to try to get some low flow toilets and conservation fixtures for those. And then of course the lighting. So those are the pieces of the project for this year for the Congregational Church of Deep River. And we are one of the central institutions in town as far as serving the community, because it is actively used 6 days a week at least, year-round. Every Thursday there's free community supper for the Shoreline Soup Kitchen and Food Pantry. We have Alcoholics Anonymous groups, one for men, one for women that meet. Narcotics Anonymous, Guiding Eyes for the blind puppy training, Transitions Academy, National Theater, the Horseshoe League. When they use the field, they come in to use the bathrooms. We keep it open for them. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. So we have a lot of groups that use the facility. And we want to keep it short and we want to keep it energy efficient so that we can continue serving them well.
Terrific, thanks.
Okay.
How'd you make out last year?
Great.
Did you-
We did,
It's
yeah.
good.
That's where we got the funding to put in the windows, and that's made a huge difference. We've seen drops already
Terrific.
in our electric bills, so hopefully this will just keep the momentum going.
Excellent, good job, thanks.
Now, we
Thank
just-
you for
we
your
just support this, right?
That's right, this act, it has to come through the town, doesn't cost the town anything, even manpower. Allison and Joanne do all of the paperwork, we really are just supplying support.
But the town supports us, and
Yep.
then once the state approves us, then it's our job to go out and get qualifying corporations
Yep.
to buy into our projects and support it. So
Mhm.
many steps, but well worth it.
Yeah.
No, it's-
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your support over the years.
Good
Appreciate
job.
it.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thanks.
And we, as such, we need to go to a town meeting to have the town vote to support this.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll schedule one for the 26th, I think, is the next selectmen's meeting. We can do it right after that, right before the Board of Finance meeting. So that would probably be at 7 o'clock.
Okay,
Okay,
come back for that.
great.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Have a good
Um,
week.
Joanne coming
And
through?
Joanne is not going to be here today. She had some medical procedures she
Okay.
had to go through. But I believe they're working on air conditioning as well. They need to replace a bunch of old air conditioning and windows.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
But she can explain that to us at the town meeting. So I think that the vote really would be, just a motion would be to move this to town meeting at 7 o'clock on the 26th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, item 4, which we just bumped over, was the creation of an Energy and Sustainability Committee. I think we had talked about this briefly sometime in the last few weeks or months. And I think we only have 3 folks right now who have really signed on, and we could add a couple more to that, I think would be appropriate. But I'd like to move tonight to start this committee, and we can appoint other people as they come up, because we're working with the gas company and with another couple of private groups to bring a fuel cell up into town. And this would, there's going to be a lot of interaction between the town and the people the group that are proposing it, and going to be going out to bid for the construction and ownership of this fuel cell. I think that this would be something that would fall right into these guys, into their bailiwick.
Do we have the 3 guys?
Yeah, Dave Oliveira, Ted McKenzie, and Bruce Edgerton have all volunteered to man this. And we certainly, anyone else that's interested in energy or sustainability.
Who's the third one?
Bruce Edgerton.
Oh.
He's chairman of our
Yep.
Planning and Zoning Commission, which I think fits right into
Yep.
this kind of thing too. There is a Connecticut Sustainability group, organization, that's really working hard to help the towns and the communities save and make their buildings more efficient and all that kind of thing. And I think that this is something that Deep River can jump in on. So if we could get a motion to create this Energy and Sustainability Committee, and then we could appoint Dave Oliveira, Ted McKenzie, and Bruce Edgerton as the members with 2 vacancies now.
I'll make a motion to the creation of the Energy Sustainability Committee with Dave Oliveira, Ted McKenzie, and Bruce Edgerton,
Second.
with 2 vacancies still to be filled.
Yeah. And anyone that's interested in that, please come forward and just call the town hall, and we'll have a conversation and probably get you on there. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have item number 6, Estuary Council of Seniors. We received a letter from the estuary that Cheryl Sitnick is the director that represents Deep River on their board of directors. She's completing her final term and she's not eligible for re-election. We need to replace her so that Deep River is represented. And this is really the first effort to put a soundboard out there that anybody that's interested to come forward, and we can furnish you with all kinds of information and people to talk to. You actually have to fill out an application and go to the board with. So there's no financial obligations. The meetings are at 9 o'clock on Monday mornings, and there are 8 board meetings every year. It's a very good group. Deep River citizens have benefited in many ways from the estuary, and it's important for us to have a representative. So if you're interested or know someone who is,
Okay.
bring them forward.
Okay.
And I've got a whole bunch of information from the estuary that we can make copies of and provide
Cool.
if anyone is interested.
All right.
Okay, this item number 7, we can just bypass, or I'm not sure, there's no need for it. This was done 6 months ago. I don't know how that
Okay.
got slipped on there. Any questions from the audience of citizens, or any comments? No? Okay.
What a rowdy group.
River Road, the south side of River Road has been paved. So that road is
Yeah, they
pretty
did
good
a nice
shape.
job.
Brockway, they finished Brockway Ferry today. So actually, no, they'll button that up tomorrow. That'll be up by tomorrow.
Okay.
We have other roads that we're taking bids on right now. We just received some monies from the state. The town aid road just came in, and the municipal grant monies just came in.
Wow.
We're gonna have to talk with the Board of Finance about how we're gonna do that, because we're gonna have to encumber that money. We can't, we have the bids now, but the guys, we can't spend the money. They can't get the crews here in time to spend it before the end of June. So we'll encumber that money. We can't spend it on anything but town roads. So it will go, just be encumbered for next, they'll probably be out in July doing the paving.
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking at the Industrial Park Road, Melody Ridge, West Bridge Street. There's a pretty good section there that needs it.
Oh, boy, does it. Yeah.
Yep. Although I like, it kind of slows people down the way it is, so.
Well, then let's dig a big ditch
Yeah.
then.
Riverview, the section between Southworth and the Sweet Club is pretty torn up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of smaller roads that we're getting bids on all of those. And hopefully we can, through the course of this summer and fall, get that work done.
I'd like to make a comment. The dump seems to be working.
Oh, yeah, the
Well,
compactor.
oh, boy.
Yeah, good job.
Definitely.
I go there every weekend and it seems to be working, so
Yeah.
good job. to-
Kudos to Eddie and
To the boys.
the boys, because
Yeah,
they did a
they
good
did
job.
work hard.
Yeah.
Took them a weekend, I think 5 or 6 working days to get that installed.
They worked hard and
And
Yeah,
it
it's
really,
really fast.
it's really amazing. That compactor, take each container, which is quite a bit smaller physically than the truck was, is able to hold twice as much garbage, because you can
pack it.
pack it
versus the sides
yeah.
blowing
instead of
out.
the sides popping out of the sides.
Well, what was also nice was the adjustment they made while we were working on it. They had a humongous container right in the middle of the access area
Yeah,
through there,
Yeah.
and you could just place your trash there.
yeah.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was a good job overall. We really anguished over what the heck we were going to do when the construction was going on, because you can't close the dump.
Yeah, they did it fast.
They did a good
It
job.
really worked out pretty well, and they all worked pretty hard at it. So we're very happy. Thanks for
Yeah,
bringing that up.
no, that's,
Yeah. What else is happening? Graduations this week. The elementary school will be here on Thursday at 6 o'clock, I think. And the high school up at Valley graduates on Friday at 6 o'clock. So stay off of Kelsey Falls if you can. And actually, that's another road we're gonna try to do a little work on. That, and it's gonna experiment kind of, it doesn't need to be resurfaced all the way, but in an effort to try to sustain it, give it a little longer life, we're gonna do some work around the catch basins where there are definitely some places that need to be patched. And then we're gonna try to oil and chip seal it and see, and that, you know, everything tells me that adds about 5 or 7 years to the life of the road, so that should help that out a little bit.
Appears there's been some decent work going on too to unplug some of those drains that.
Well, that's something we have been woefully behind, and we're trying to do 300 of them every summer.
Yeah.
So we can, you know,
That's
keep
part of
them
that
clean.
Clean Water Act too, right?
That's,
We have to-
Exactly.
that is part of that MS4.
Yeah, we have
At
to-
some point, we're gonna have to start, you know, really paying attention to that, so let's get ahead of it. We hadn't done any in a long time, so.
They were on Hemlock yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah, I think we're finished for this season. We may come back in the fall, but my inclination is the spring is a better time to do it after the sand has been put on the roads and stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
Is that you contract that out? That's not a Deep River truck that does it.
No, it's not, it's a contract. And they're the same folks that do Chester, so they kind of came right down and added us to their list. But we'll probably go to bid next time around, just to get some, because Essex, and we're actually thinking of the Essex, Deep River, and Chester all use the same person. We might get a lower rate, so we'll look into that for next time.
Well, with all these new laws about the catch basins and clean water, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to look about purchasing one within
Well-
3 towns, or buy one and rent, you know, lease it out,
Yep.
because,
Essex owns one,
oh, okay.
and they hired somebody to do it. It's really, it's an interesting thing, and it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think that if the 3 towns got involved and bought something new, it would probably be a good idea.
Right.
Yeah.
They probably have the whole style that has no
Exactly.
suction.
Exactly.
Do they charge per catch basin?
They charge, it's pretty convoluted the way they charge, but basically it boils down to per basin. You can pay by the hour, or you can pay by the basin. And we determined that paying by the basin is.
Pay
a
me
little
now or pay me later. You pay me no matter what.
bit- Paying by the basin seems to work out.
It's a piecework basis.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But it makes a difference.
We hear any rumblings from Hartford about budget?
No, it's an election year. It's all good.
Yeah, you believe
We'll
that?
talk to you. We'll talk to you Thanksgiving or December. But,
Yeah.
it's all going to be good from then
That's not
until
what
then.
Dwayne told me. Oh, that's-
Now there's I have a lot of concerns. You know that this state will be $150 billion in debt at the end of next year, and the following year it'll be 400. So unless they make some significant changes, and I don't know how they're going to do that, but
Yeah.
you know, smarter guys than I are, smarter people than I am are hopefully up there thinking about it.
I'm
But
so sure they're smarter.
we'll see. I can't think of anything else right offhand. We got a great summer. The muster's on its way. Oh, the carnival this week. If you're watching this carnival will be happening probably while you're watching it. But, food trucks this year, so it's going to be a big deal.
Ooh,
It'll be a lot of fun. I think they're even going to have a beer time.
pizza.
So unless anyone has anything else to talk about, okay, let's take a motion to
Make a
adjourn.
motion, we adjourn.
All those in second.
Right?
All those in
Second.
favor.
Aye.
First, second.
Thank you very much.